Hello, such an exciting topic. So exciting, it would help to have my microphone on. For you guys who don't know me, Director of Sales, Sarah Tugender, want to talk about the importance of attending events. So let's just talk about that. Can you guys think back to the first time that you knew you were really at an event? Let's talk about that. You know, we want to be able to convey a feeling to you that just makes a lot of sense so you understand why with Nutrimetrics Custom Health Solutions, our events are laid out at certain times of the year for certain reasons. Let's even think about, doesn't it seem like in your life, all of the weddings tend to clump together? Like that, spring, summer, it's wedding season, right? Isn't that what they call it? Let's also think about, a school year. There's certain events in the school year that just happen in the school year. They don't happen outside of the school year. We sort of have a natural pace and rhythm to life and to things. And with Nutrimetrics Custom Health Solutions, we do the same thing. We don't just have events to have events. It is really for a purpose, just like in school, just like, maybe when you went to medical school, or maybe, whatever training that your background is in, there were different events at the beginning. There were different events to commemorate. You had a graduation at the end. Maybe that was important for you to go to. And so, when we say events, there's all sorts of events with Nutrimetrics and the parent company, Market America. And so today I want to cover the different types of events that you might be invited to and what they are and why they're important to you. So as you've seen with some of our previous trainings that we've done, there's a lot in our Nutrimetrics curriculum. And if you've met our Director of Training and Sales, Brandy Murphy, I have to say, no one lays out a training curriculum quite like Brandy. And she really has, set the pace for the HP implementation guide and going through implementation and how important that is to follow in order. And with this online curriculum, following it in order so it really makes sense to you. So let's just think about, I want to know from you, what events have you been to already? Have you attended an online event? Have you attended an in-person event? Was it something small? Was it, something that was maybe 3 hours? Was it something a little bit longer? Was it a full day? Did you tune in? Did you tune out? Did you come and go? Did you stay for the whole time? Did you fly somewhere and go somewhere in person? What kind of events have you already been to? Because you might think that you don't have enough time to add in something like another event. You might think like, my schedule is so busy. And listen, I make $20 when I sell a bottle of something. So why am I going to take off a full day? You might say it's not really worth it right now. But what if it was that one event, that one training, something that you got that made a difference for you, that changed things? People leave our trainings and it's not just about our products. It's not just about implementing the Nutrimetrics system. What I really like about, our events that are really different, that, successful Nutrimetrics health professionals realize when they get into the room, that they're in a room full of entrepreneurial health professionals. They've networked with people and had advice and made connections and collaborations outside of just our brand. It's very unique what we're doing with Nutrimetrics, where we bring together people from all different disciplines, into one setting to collaborate together. And I use that word collaborate because that's really what it is. It is such an incredible environment of collaboration, inspiration, implementation. We get into, the nitty gritty of the not just, what is this? How does it function? structure function claims, looking at products, looking at the biochemistry of them. No, we get into, what does this mean for your patients? How does this exactly work? What is the dosage specifically for you? And then, hearing different disciplines and how they use products in unique ways. I've sat at tables, at lunch tables, and watched providers, swap business cards, swap ideas, swap other collaborations outside of just this company. And, they walk away and they say, wow, what I would have missed out. That weekend course, that one-day summit, that accelerated my practice in ways that I would have, never thought of before. We recently just did our annual convention. Our Nutrimetrics annual convention in 2020 was done online. And the marketing advice, the branding advice, the implementation, the way that products are introduced to patients and used in novel ways was all discussed on this webinar. Such a different type of topic than I'm hearing anywhere else on the web. And I'm in a lot of collaborative, integrative, functional groups. So let's talk about some of the different types of events. Most people today are being invited, the first bite is what we call one of our online summits. And we do these quarterly with Nutrimetrics. They are mostly for provider only. Every now and then we'll open it up if it's more of a marketing topic or something universal. But out of maybe the dozen that we've done, that's only happened twice. So most of the time you need to either have an account with us, or if you'd like to invite some of your friends and colleagues who aren't account holders, they do just need to submit their license on file to webinars@nutrimetrics.com. And that way that they'll get in. And so they're in a 3-hour format, typically with a theme around it. So we've done things in the past like gut health, all you need to know about gut health, mental health, nutrigenomics, anti-aging. So they'll typically have a theme, and there'll be anywhere from 3 to 4 speakers. And this is something that you log in. You can watch it live. The benefit always to watching things live when it's online like this is you get to real time get your questions answered. Otherwise, we do typically give you about 2 weeks to watch the follow-up replay. So that is nice. We understand that you're very busy. Some providers will even log in during a normal busy patient day and know when they get back to their desk, even while they're charting, if they hear, even just a few snippets of information, a couple minutes here and there, I'm a big believer that you will get the right information at the right time. If you're the right person, what is for you will not pass by you. People really have gleaned so much from even just little small couple minute interactions. We try to make it so there is, part of the training that will span over a lunch break. So if you can clear out a little extra time to be able to hop on live. I have so many courses that I register for, and I think I'm going to get back to them. And I don't always. We get busy. Life gets in the way. It's hard. And we only have 4 of these a year. They're only 3 hours. That's 12 hours in the whole year. And this is something, if you can, push play while you're driving to the office, push play when you're on your way running your errands, push play while you're doing that workout in the morning, and being able to follow up because you just have a limited amount of time with those summits. What else do we have? Annually, we do have an annual convention. And so that is a 1-day event that we usually pair with a 2-day nutrimetrics training and a 2-day health professional product and implementation training. So it's a 3-day event altogether because the ticket covers both events depending on which track you're on. A lot of our providers will bring their staff members to sit in the consultant training while they sit in the product and implementation training. It's nothing better than having your whole team there all together. So important, so powerful to be able to say, what did you learn in this room? What did I learn in this room? Let's come back together over lunch and networking events and see how we can put this into action and create a plan. I love going to events with my team. I love that. We get so much done. We have a lot of fun too. It can be a lot of fun. I always try to make, dinner reservations with the team so we can get together and debrief and bond. And then we just come back with so much more growth that following year. So I make sure I try to do, that big one with the majority of my team members at least once a year. And their staff members, we get their teams together. So it's like my team of consultants with their teams and their staff. It's really cool and powerful. Outside of that annual convention, we typically have 2 other product and implementation trainings in the year. So that's 3 of them all together. They're 2-day events. They can be anywhere. The locations do tend to move. The times of year also tend to move. And so this is a great time to be able to, learn about the Nutrimetrics system, implementation. It's all geared towards, to be in the room for that, you do have to be a licensed healthcare provider. Again, the staff is going to sit in the consultant room, and that's just for, guests can come as well, but it is just for people who are licensed medical providers under our Nutrimetrics qualification system. What else? A lot of local areas will bring in speakers. They'll either do in-person events or online events for what we call general product trainings. I think general product trainings are really novel events. They're usually 3 hours. Some speakers will do 2 3-hour sessions, so it might be a full 6-hour day, or it might just be a 3-hour event if it's like on a weeknight. And these are great because a lot of our speakers, you can find all of their bios online or ask your consultant to send a bio. There's a lot of them that are also licensed health professionals in the Nutrimetrics system. And so that's a great place to be able to learn, in a bit more of a casual environment. This is great too for you to bring your staff, to bring people that are really enthusiastic about our Nutrimetrics line of health and nutrition products. They're geared towards these general product trainings, towards our health and nutrition products. And I find that it's a little bit of a slower pace because it's also for the consumer division that we have. So if you find that you just need this broken down in a general way, so you understand the products, you understand the marketing positioning, how it compares to other products, which products pair well with these products, I find it's really a simple way for a lot of providers to get the information that they need. What else? If you want something a little bit more intensive, we do have once a year product symposium. And product symposium is a Friday night, a Saturday and Sunday, so a 2.5-day weekend event. And that sets the tone for the product presentations that we're focusing on for the year. Top trainers, top providers, the training staff are all Nutrimetrics providers. In our skincare, she's last year's trainer was a medical esthetician. So this is top-notch trainers in their field presenting on the products, putting them into regimens. The best part about that, and this training is really unique because you do get all the slide decks. So if you are a provider or your staff really wants to do community events, you really want to present on these, that's important to you, Product Symposium is a great place to be able to get all of those slide decks. And that, again, bring your staff, go together with people that have a little bit of a marketing mind. I like sitting side by side. I don't know if you guys know, my dad's a provider, and he asked me to come and take a look at Nutrimetrics at the same time he did. And we would sit together in lectures and he would learn the clinical implications. And my marketing mind was always going to say, how can we make this accessible for your patients? How can we get this message out for you? And so you might be invited to a product symposium. Love that event. That usually happens sometime in the fall. Twice a year, we get together as a whole company from our parent company, marketamericashop.com. And this is where people are talking about business building, entrepreneurship, inspiration. And this is where new products are usually released. The bulk of our new products are released. This is really typical in a retail industry to get together as a corporation twice a year. Happens usually at the end of the summer, beginning of the fall, and then again in February. And those are our two big pushes. I really like these events because there tends to be information from vendors. If we're using a new vendor, that vendor might actually come and speak at that conference, which is, great to hear, right from them. What they're doing and why their product is so novel, and information right about the science and technology. And it's an exciting place to be when you can hear that front line. So for the first time ever, if you're listening to this in 2020, our international convention is going to be an online event. So the ticket is for an online, and this is going to be a great format. The technology that they're using is top notch. That's one thing about the company, is whatever they do, they make sure that it is polished and professional. And that will be online. It will be just as exciting as ever with breakouts. You can come and hang out with us with our Nutrimetrics breakouts, learn what some of our top providers, top consultants are doing. But I always like, for me and for my providers, we really like that front row seat to be able to, see those new products. I would also be remiss to not tell you about our 101s and 201s. There's actually 3 of them that I think are important to you. These are one-day events, either done in person or online. And we have a Nutrimetrics 101 and 201. So the 101 is geared towards products and implementation. The 201 is a little bit more geared towards business building. But this is great as a provider, if you're a staff member, if you're thinking about working with some more consultants to be able to help you with your business. The Nutrimetrics 101 and 201 is a really great training, and we continue to update it as science, medicine, healthcare, the world continues to change. And I really like going to that multiple times and hearing from different trainers, sometimes from a provider, sometimes from a consultant. We have a Gene Snip 101, 201. This is open to all, so providers and consultants we're really hands-on training about Gene Snip. So you're going to learn exactly how to read a Gene Snip, implement with Gene Snip, the science behind the SNPs, some marketing behind it. Dr. Deidre Mason put together a fantastic Gene Snip 101 and 201 training that is very accessible. A lot of people have gone through this and have made great strides with implementing Gene Snip in their practice. That's a great way too, especially if you need some additional instant cash flow. You want something that's at a little higher price point with a little bit more profit margin right there off the bat. You like that empirical evidence that's there. Many of our providers are attracted to Nutrimetrics because of our turnkey weight management system with TLS Select. This dovetails really nicely into whatever your practice is currently offering. And we have a training called a TLS 101 and 201. Again, this is a full day. The 101 is 3 hours. The 201 is 3 hours. It's a great, event for you to go through as a provider to learn about our TLS products, our marketing, the best practices when it comes to coaching. You also could have a staff member, a medical assistant, a CNA, a health coach go through this with you to help you with your patients. So these events, they all range in price, anywhere from $15, which is usually what we pay for a 3-hour course. It might be $30 if it's a full day, all the way up to, our product and implementation trainings, goes all the way up to about $500. Our events are, like $200 to $300 if it's going to be one of our conventions. So, really reasonably priced, when you think about what it costs to get this education out in the outside world. If you're going to enroll in a nutrition course at a local college, if you're going to, sign up with, a lecture that's out there with another course or another company, really reasonable for top-notch trainers, trainers that train for other companies. outside of our company, and it costs a lot more to access these trainers outside. It is such a deal. We're also a supporter of the NEI, the Educational Institute, and the NEI is a not-for-profit that is accredited for CMEs and CEUs. You can find out more information at nutrimetrics.org, and you can find information about the CMEs and CEUs that are awarded with that course. And so that happens once a year, and the staff and faculty there are also top-notch. That is run by Dr. Deidre Mason, and I do suggest that you go and you look at that. Our providers our top providers do tend to go to that course at least once a year. You know, if they can't do that, then at least every 2 years, you know, to get the latest on that. The book of information, I mean, when it comes down to the biochemistry, the actual ingredients, the mechanisms of action, people walk away from that training just, you know, their minds open, and they really get an in-depth look at, you know, micronutrient effect in health and lifestyle medicine and functional medicine. And so, you know, right now, if we're watching this live, we're in July. So, you know, right now, the next event is going to be in September 11th, 12th, and 13th with our international convention. We're launching new products, having new success stories that will be displayed. That's a great place to be. With the ticket, you do have access for 14 days to be able to watch that. So if you don't have all the time to carve out over the weekend, you'll be able to, you know, at least hopefully carve out some time over the next 2 weeks to be able to find those lectures that you missed that were important to you. But I encourage you to get with your Nutrimetrics consultant, to get with your, you know, partners and say, you know, what is the next event that is applicable to me? You know, and since I went through, if you open up to your HP implementation guide, we talk about some of these events. So, you know, asking and knowing where an unfranchised under the, what we call the GMTSS, the Global Meeting Training and Seminar System, to be able to find those events, put them on the calendar. That's the thing. It's really important to commit to them, to put them on the calendar, and, you know, at least make a couple of them throughout the year non-negotiable. You want to be in that room. You want to be with those people. It really is an incredible place. Even if it's a virtual room online, it's going to be important. So I hope that you do that. And so this week, I want you to talk to your consultant, talk to, you know, your business partners and say, what is the next event that's going to make sense for me? Is it a Nutrimetrics 101, 201? Is it a product symposium? Is it something like an international convention? Based on your goals and what you're looking for, we'll be able to, you know, get you into the right event for you. You'll be able to network and schmooze with the right people. And I can say that it has made such a difference in so many people's practices. So I hope to see you at an event sometime soon.